We were listening to that, then all of a sudden the Rebbe said, Fran ist da noch einer, was hat ein Stückel in niggunim. Und ich tracht, also kann ein bisschen Russisch sagen und Ukrainisch. And nobody knows what the man is. Fran ist der Zalman Lipsker von Eretz Yisroel. I will not forget, I flew up like an airplane. I don't know how I did it. And I stood right there. And I love that song. Stavi apitu, piatnitzu.
This episode is sponsored by Chabad of Napa Valley. Shlichus'n harabatamim Rebbe Moshe v'zogasim Marischana Zlata u'mishpachtem sheyichu Tenenbaum for Hatzlacha Rabba u'Muflaga in their shlichus in Napa Valley, California. If you've been enjoying this podcast, please like and subscribe so that others can enjoy it as well. In addition, if you've benefited in any way from Among Chassidim podcast and would like to give something back, you can do so today at derher.org/donate. I'm Yossi Kamen. Welcome to Among Chassidim by Derher, an ongoing farbrengen about life as a chassid, our vibrant connection with the Rebbe, and inspired living shaped by the way he teaches us each and every day. Shalom Aleichem, Rabbi Lipsker, how are you?
Thank the Mebesh and thank God.
Okay, Baruch Hashem. Thank you so much. What I would like to ask you is, I know the Lipsker is a Shem Klali in Lubavitch, so maybe you could tell me a little bit about your parents, where they're from, and then where you were born, v'chulu.
Yes. My parents were born in Poltava. Poltava in those days was Soviet Union. In the year from Shnas, Chof Reish Tzadik, or the end of Peiches, Peites, the Rov was my Zayde, Rav Reb Chaim Tzvi. He was the Zayde, he was the Rov, the Poltava Rov.
He's
what he was called.
He's the famous Poltava Rov?
No, in his time, when the famous Poltava Rov was I forgot his name. It was a Bakante Rov, who was also a Chaver with the Rebbe Rashab, that he was also a Chaver with the Rebbe Rashab. But in his time, from Peches till Tzadik Gimel, he was the Poltava Rov. As a matter of fact, that I visited Poltava, and my great nephew, Harav Segal, is a Shliach in Poltava, and he showed me the place where the shul, the main synagogue, was my Zayde the Rov.
So he was a Lubavitcher?
Who?
Zayde.
My Zayde was officially not a Lubavitcher, but he learned Likutei Torah every Shabbos. That's what he does. But he didn't learn in Lubavitch, he was older than that. But he was close to Lubavitch. As a matter of fact, when his children started to grow up, it was in Poltava, the Mirror Yeshiva, and a lot of people were learning there. But the Zayde said that if I really want that the kinder, which was Michal, Yankel, and my father, who was the oldest of the brothers.
What was his name?
My father's name was Aryeh Ze'ev Label. And I would like to send him to Lubavitcher yeshivas. But in those days, it was a real problem because the yeshivas were running from one place to another because of the KGB, the GPU, and the ganze Meises. So he sent my father away and Michal away. Yankel was not sent there. I really don't know why. Yankel Lipsker, but my father, all of us, and Michal, they went there.
So where did they go?
In Kharkov, then later on in Vitebsk. And it's a very interesting story that I reminded I never saw it while I'm talking to you. As he was learning in Kharkov, and he was a chavrus mit Mendel Futterfass, Oliver Sholem. He reached the age of 18 and a half, 19. My father was called in by Chashiv Fagin, who was the maskir there, and said to him, Lebe, I want you to go lehashgocha in eine von the cities which are, somebody had to run away from there because they were after him, and I would like you should go there.
In the yeshiva?
In a yeshiva. Mm-hmm. And he said, this is Vitebsk. So my father said to him, ich verstehe nicht. I don't understand. I just came maybe a year and a half I'm here. And I was wandering from one place to another, from one room to another room, because this was, when they caught somebody, they had to go to another room. So he said to him, this is what is going to be, you have to. And he told him that if you will agree to it, I will make sure that you'll go on Yechidus to the Rebbe in Leningrad. He will arrange it, he will send me there.
His bochur weren't...
Not everybody was going to go there. As he heard this, his mind turned around right away, said, okay. But in mind he had that he'll ask the Rebbe and he'll tell the Rebbe the same kindness why he should not accept the job, so to speak, the hatzoah of being a mashgiach. As he came in to the Rebbe, and my father describes the Rebbe was with a red beard, and he looked at him. He says, "Does this two label paltaver was first of shlichus'n? And that this you are labeled paltaver that you're going on shlichus'n?" So he said, "Yes." And my brother, although sein gesund, told me that it was a verbringen in our house, which I was here already. This must have been in Tovshin Yutes or Tovshin Chof. And he took a lot of mashke. So he said that if Chas v'sholem I would not answer you, gave what it will be with me.
Wow.
I reminded myself this story.
Wow. Okay, so it's important.
And then from Poltava, as he got married to my mother, which is the sister of Rabbi Alexander Sender Menkin, which he was the, so to speak, the Gabe in that shul. Rabbi Leo, he was the father of my mother, Leo Sholem, which is also the father of Sender Menkin. He married her, and interesting that Reb Sender Menkin married prior to that my father's sister, which is Ede, the Poltaverov's daughter.
So they were brother.
So we were from both sides, my uncle and my aunt.
Oh.
And this is how we started, but later on, when it started the problems and the inyanim of the Russian behavior became very, very uncomfortable for Yidden befrat. So somehow he was told through, I don't know how he got the answer from the Rebbe, the Frierdiker Rebbe. It was in the Pace that he should go to Kutaisi.
To Kutaisi. So he went before. There's many Lubavitchers stayed in Moscow.
Originally, not yet, not completely. It was Almol, Reb Shmuel Levitin were there, but after a while, everybody left, like Reb Shmuel left in the Sheens, nothing weiter. We're talking about, Reb Shmuel left in the Tzaddiks, actually. Tzaddik, earlier. But when we came, nobody was there yet. Then it started a whole group.
Well, but when the World War II broke out, a lot of people started running away. But saying,
but some people came there.
Before.
It was my family. It was Reb Mordechai Perlov. Have you heard of Reb Mordechai Perlov? Sure. It was Avram Levik, Slavin, Reb Shmuel Notek, you know Rabbi Notek, Asach Chassidim.
So your father and his brothers also were there?
Yes, all three of us.
Okay, so that's where you were born?
Yes. I was born in Kutaisi. Kutaisi. So not after I was born.
No, you were born there. Yeah.
I was born there.
So what was it like? What was it like? I mean, you remember it, right? You were a kid.
Oh, I remember as a kid, the yeshiva bochurim. I could remember Reb Sholem Marozov, Reb Meshke Marozov. I remember Ben Zion Vengerov, Hessel Zeitlin, Chatzkel Brod.
So
I was a little child. I remember them.
There was a chadorim.
They became they made the yeshiva. Upstairs in our attic was the yeshiva there.
And you went to cheder?
Oh, here's another interesting thing. We have to learn, and to learn there and found out, and find if people would find that we, in our place, we are teaching the children, or Jewish children, officially my parents did not have children. It's interesting.
You weren't registered that you existed?
Were not registered.
So that way you don't have to go to public school?
Otherwise, we would have to go to public school. And this reminds me of a very interesting story. I remember, like today, I was a child of 5.5 years old. We lived on a second floor. From outside, there was one way that we came upstairs, and from the other side, we had another stairs that went to a little river, a nahar. A river, it's called, right?
A river, yeah.
And every once in a while, I remember the KGB. My mother asked, "Who is it?" So they answered the KGB. So he said, "Okay, I'm coming." And there is a curtain here. It was behind the curtain. It was a door that put us down to the river.
Like a secret exit.
With stairs.
A secret
A
exit.
secret place. She covered it and she put us all down. And it said, "Where are the children?" She said, "We don't have any children." They didn't know that was another cover. I remember it like today. Then I remember that Hiske, Berke, Manke, I was the fourth one.
So this is mamish like the storybooks.
It's a gewaltiges Meise. Weißt du das nicht?
Yeah.
My father officially was in the army. But thank God, it was in Kutaisi station. So all of a sudden, he became, with a few dollars, he became a nurse. In those days, he given modne Sachen. As it better as it was, a few dollars did the trick.
So who taught you in the cheder?
Huh?
Who taught?
Oh, it was his name was Reb Shmuel Tzareyer. And I'm going to read. Sheikhet. He used to have my elder two brothers who started already Ivre and then Chumash. And then it was Menachem so sein gesund. He's in America. Till Menachem, everybody is gone. And then me, and we learned the Aleph Beis in Ivre. And that's about all.
So you mamish learned in the underground cheder.
That's correct.
Wow. Okay, so this is till what age? What happened then?
When I was...
What year?
I was born in Chof Kislev.
What year?
I was born in Chof Kislev Tofresh Sadik Tes. And we left on 46, which I was about 6 years old, a little over 6. And how did we go out? because it was heard in 1946 that the Zayde, referring to the Frierdiker Rebbe, was called the Zayde. That it says that since it's after the Melchome, and Russia permitted that all the Polish immigrants could go back to Poland. The Mele, it would be the right thing to go back to Poland. But we knew what it meant. And then it started the famous Bricha. I'm sure you heard about it.
Shalonen and everything.
Yeah, Shalonen. And unfortunately, at the end, Yene Poltaver was killed. The Mendel Futterfass was later put in jail and then in Sibir, so on and so forth. And then we were wandering 2 years in a row, a little over 2 years, from place to place, from Czechoslovakia, Vienna, Austria, all kinds of places, till we finally came to Germany. In Germany, my father, Oliver Sholem, when we came to Germany, it was already Baruch Hashem Potter geworden. But till we came to Germany, it was a very, very, very heavy, heartbreaking, and scary moments, physically and mentally. It was times that we had to go at night, a whole night, and quiet. Nobody should hear the voices. But we did what the Rebbe said.
And you remember this whole thing?
I remember like today.
Going on a train and everything.
The train was at the end already. This everybody could remember.
How did
Because
you get
this was
from
2 years
Russia?
later. Huh?
How did you get from Russia over the border?
At night.
Not on a train.
No. Later on, when we came to Poland from, what is it called? We
Lvov.
first went to Lvov,
Well,
which is called the name Galicianer, which was the Lvov. And then when we came to Germany, right away, I remember the people who were there was Rav Mordechai Perlov, Yitzchok Lemes, Yitzchak Minkovich, Ishke Lemes, Zalman Duchman, my youngest uncle, Rabbi Lipsker from Toronto, the father of Mendel and Sholem, Oliver Sholem. And a big crane, Zalman Lachov, Eli Ebers Schwer, I think. Who is he?
I don't know. Okay.
Eli Ebers Schwer.
Schwer.
Zalman Light's father. His family came. Avrom Mayor.
So,
I go people.
so where this was in Pucking or this different
No.
place?
It was two big places. The biggest place was Poking, and we were in Schwäbisch Hall.
So there's all these chassidim that you're mentioning with
But those older Chassidim was with us in Schwäbisch Hall. But Reb Nissen and andere then given in Poking.
right.
In Poking was the Yeshiva Gdela at that time. And my father, since my oldest brother, Oliver Sholem, was already bar mitzvah, he sent him away there in Poking. But in there, he made a Talmud Torah, and you can see here, there is a picture of the Talmud Torah that my father made in Schwäbisch Hall.
Oh, so this is the book that has a lot of the things we're going to discuss. Shlichus la'avas hachachma, it's called.
Well, you asked me about my coming out from Russia. We didn't get to Eretz Yisroel yet.
I'm just letting all the people that are watching the video and listening to know about the Sefer, that most of the things we'll discuss are in here. So here's a picture of the yeshiva that your father made. This picture is also, I believe, it's in the Derher.
Did I ever give you that picture?
Yeah,
I don't think
yeah,
so.
in the magazine that we did an article with you, an interview, if I'm not mistaken.
That's my father has the yeshiva. Let me see that picture. Let me see whether this is the one. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so how long were you in the yeshiva there?
We were
How long were you
in
guys?
Germany
Yeah.
was 2 years.
2 years. And what was life like over there?
Well, I don't understand even how they existed there. I remember two things, that it was the yeshiva, and my father al made the Talmud Torah, and also for girls, shtickle based, I don't remember what it was called, but it was for teaching Medelach. And I remember that they had to make a mikveh. I was already about at that time 8.5 years, 9 years, and I remember it was a big, big frost, and they cut pieces of ice, and they dug a place, like a bore, a pit, and I remember this like today, that Mordechai Perlov, who was a great Rav, he went down, and he started to make like this with the hands.
So what does that mean?
To
measure.
To measure.
Okay.
It stuck to me until these days like I see it now.
Wow.
It's interesting. And obviously all this is why. The Rebbe guided us from A to Z. The Rebbe told us to go, my father from Poltava to whatchamacallit, to Kutaisi. Then later on, my Zayde sent my father and his other brothers to Lubavitcher yeshivas, and with the reason that if he wants him to remain in this time, Yidden, darf man gehen to Lubavitcher yeshivas. Because this was, we had the air von Rebbe, the air, the shine, and the strength of the Rebbe, that this was like, without it we can't be around. As a matter of fact, I remember that before we used to go to sleep, my mother said with us Shema Yisroel, and said, a gute Nacht, Kinderlach, und der Rebbe soll sein gesund. This was the good night.
No.
It's unbelievable. And then,
Wow. Okay.
and if you read that book, you have a lot of interesting things. I could just tell you one thing concerning this journey. When we came to Germany, the Rebbe, we wrote to the Rebbe where we should go, and the Rebbe,
The Frierdiker Rebbe you're talking about.
it was in Tovshin Ches.
Making sure everyone understands. Okay.
Huh?
You have to make sure everyone understands what you're saying.
Of course, you're right. We asked the Rebbe where to go. Some people were sent to Australia, like Rabbi, what's his name, Mordechai Perlov was sent to Australia. My uncle, my father's brother, Michal, was sent to Morocco. And my father got, interesting, a letter from the Rebbe where it says that he should go to America. Unbelievable. And let me just see what the letter is. This is what the Rebbe wrote. You should go to America. But, interesting enough, if the Rebbe said to talk to America, whatever chafetzim we had, we send it
You sent it to America.
to America. And a month or so later, the Rebbe all of a sudden wrote another letter that he should go to Eretz Yisroel.
So all of your stuff was sent to America already.
And we went to Eretz Yisroel. And here are the two letters. Here is it's mamish unbelievable. Oh, this is one letter. It ends here. Look, Paul.
Okay, so the Frierdiker Rebbe writes that first of all, your mother was pregnant. Your mother was pregnant. So
Yeah.
Frierdiker Rebbe is giving a bracha. The leida shvi beita bezmana. Chazak briusa yibrias yiladeim. Terechum hasim tevim. And then he gives a bracha when the siyach shura the pay.
In America.
Yeah, to have a safe
Look,
trip.
a couple letters
here.
later.
So this was Yud Ches Tevis.
Yeah.
So then in Adar, Vav Adar, there's another letter.
I don't know whether it is a whole bunch of letters, but in one of the letters, he writes we should go to Eretz Yisroel.
Yeah. It's not on this one.
If you'll give me, I'll show you the letter.
Okay, well,
No, it's just interesting.
Yeah, so it's a few letters later. Gimel Tishrei.
Okay.
Tavshin Tes. And
Almost a year later.
Yeah. So Meinel Ksav Megimel Chedesh El Aver. Yisa in Bnei Beisa Yichud Tzalecha LeEretz HaKedesh. You should go to Eretz HaKedesh.
Wasn't even a thought to tell you the Rebbe, Mechzechov Geshigdi, right away.
Right.
It's
Okay.
interesting.
Yeah.
This is something new.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
So a chassid folked.
A chassid not was folked. A chassid is apart from Rebbe, mit dem hat designer a negel. If he tells you, this is what it's all about. How did we go out? If he heard it was the middle of the night, my father had that with a possibility to go out because the Rebbe said we should go as Polish immigrants. How could he go? As I mentioned, he was working as as a nurse. Remember I mentioned it?
Army, yeah.
He gave a guy a shenepo ruble after 12 a.m. and he asked him that he should take that ambulance and bring him to the Greenwich, to some tradia. And this is how we went out
To the border.
to the border.
Wow. Okay. So you went to Eretz Yisroel
Yeah,
with the ganze Mishpacha. And where did you settle?
in Tachanat Rakevet Lud. And as we came to Eretz Yisroel, it was right after the end of the Melchome. It was Hakamat HaMedinah, so to speak, Eretz Yisroel. Since we were a big mishpacha, so first of all, a Oleh Chadash was brought to Bet Olim. Bet Olim means observance center, that they expect
Absorption
people...
center.
Huh?
Absorption Center.
Absorption center. And what did they give us? Materials, tent. How do you say a present in the tent?
A tent.
A tent from cloth. We were there
From
for
canvas.
a couple weeks. Water. Again, it wasn't the greatest, but at least we were out of Venezuela. Later on, they brought us to Tachanat Rakevet Lud, which was an area where it was just kept and captured from the Arabs. Well, Eretz Yisroel was ours, but it was right after the Melchome, and it happened that at that Tachanat Rakevet, the previous Rebbe came to, when he went back from Mitzrayim. You know the Rebbe?
On the way to Eretz Yisroel.
Yeah, anybody.
To the same place.
Yeah. And since my father, I remember it like it was an Anhora with many children, it's called in Hebrew Bruchat Yeladim. So he said you can choose whatever you want. So my father looked around and says, da wird sein die Yeshiva, und da wird sein die Schul, und das wird sein unser Haus. This is how it happens.
So this is Kfar Chabad? No, this is
Lud.
Lud. This is Lud.
Shikun Tachanat Rakevet Lud. We're going about what, in 1949.
Uh-huh.
It was not for Chabad yet.
Right. So that's where you stayed?
This is where we stayed. This is where we are living. Then I came Reb Melech Kaplan there. Then came Reb Lezer Iches. Lezer Iches means Iche the Masmit's son and his brother Shmuel. There made a ganze Kehille, we made a mikveh, so on and so forth.
Mm-hmm. So you were there, that's where you grew up and spent the time. You went to yeshiva there?
At the beginning, first of all, we went to Tel Aviv. It was no yeshiva. So I stood by Mesher Yaroslavsky at night, and we learned in the morning by 12 by Reb Sheil Brook. And then we found the yeshiva, and then later on, it developed and became the yeshiva Gedele. Then from Tovshin Yud Aleph became the big Pardes, the big Zal in Tachanat Rakevet Lud. which the yeshiva gdela from Lubavitch, till a couple years later, was in Tachnat Rakevet Lud, und die Ältere haben gelernt in Pardes. They learned in the Pardes. I hope you heard about it.
Yeah, so over there was Shlomo Chaim.
And then Shlomo Chaim was the ganzer Balabos. And then it was also in Tovshin Yud Beis, Yud Gimel. It was the Rosh Yeshiva, was the Baruch Shimon Schneerson. He was the Rosh Yeshiva at that time. Reb Melech was the Shirgiber from the Yingere. Then Reb Avrom Mayor was for the Mashpia under Reb Shlomo Chaim. He also taught the Teimanim, who came a big group at that particular time. And this is how it was developed.
No.
And then, unfortunately, at Tov Shin Tezayin, something very bad happened. This is after Yud Gimel, Yud Daled, but it was a development in Kfar Chabad, and the yeshiva was there, not the yeshiva Gdeli in Lud, that was still in Lud, but I'm talking about the Talmud Torah, the Rebbe made a bet Melacha,
Beit Sefer
Lemelacha. Happened the story of the 5 who got killed. And we all know the story that the Rebbe said that I myself actually has to go to comfort them and give them a little chizuk. But for certain reasons, I cannot. I will send shluchim, and they will be just as I am there. This was the expression of the Rebbe. We were young English at that time. We were 14, 15, 16-year-old boys. And then the year later they came, Tovshin Tezayin, and their coming aroused a big shturim about coming to the Rebbe.
So maybe explain it to me.
What do I explain?
Tell me why, what?
As good as we knew about the Rebbe, but everybody privately knew, like I said, my mother knew, my father knew, but as a klol, as a whole, yeshivas, Talmud Torahs, Chassidim in general, should know that we have such a great Rebbe. Now how important, how great the Rebbe is. Especially the Rebbe. They, the shluchim, gave through their verbringenes, and through their fact that they gave each and every Talmud Torah Kinda Tanya, Asider, every, it was kemat 3.5, 4 weeks. I don't remember how long they were. But I remember they were in Tel Aviv, they were in Kfar Chabad, they were in Tachanat Rakevet Lud. They were everywhere. And everywhere, every shliach in his way explained and spoke. And the nekuda was to arouse and make sure bochurim, yungelite, men, women, how and what the Rebbe is accomplishing and what he's accomplishing.
Do you remember some of the things that they said?
How they said?
Do you remember what they said?
I remember what they said. That I remember, for example, David Shochad said at the Rebbe, tracht wegen jeder einen von uns. He cares and thinks about each and every one of us. Or somebody else, Bertel Schemte wird gesagt, sehr more on dem Rebbe können wir nicht leben. I mean, this kind of expressions. And who else was very interesting? Oh, you'll know that it was expected that when the shluchim come, because of Milmaila was the so to speak, the commandment or the bakosha, that as the Rebbe himself came. So the world, Eretz Yisroel, the world, made that day an outstanding day. Not only by the Chassidei Chabad, it was like a moment that they said that something special happens in Israel. And I remember Reb Sheil Ber Zislin, who was the elderly man. He came, Chassidim, of course they came to greet. And I remember like today that somehow when we saw the shluchim come down, I'm getting the chills when I remind myself how everybody got a shliach and picked him on his shoulders. It was the Rebbe. And then started when they came and they settled. Each day it was a day, a planned day. This is unbelievable. In Nigle, in Chassidus, for bringing mit jeder Kita, to give presents from the Rebbe, memories from the Rebbe. And this was something that bei mir ist eingekritzt like today. And I wasn't an old man. Die haben gesagt, elderly, I'm a bochur from 14, 15 Jahre, 16 Jahre. But that's, I remember we were also a group in Haifa a half a year before, so they also came to shluchim. They didn't miss any Talmud Torah, any part of yeshiva, any area where Chassidim was, not to be there, to bring the word. Bekitzer, with this, they had me'erer Klal Yisroel, befrat Chabad, on a protocol the Talmidei Yeshiva, the importance of sein beim Rebbe.
So because of that, you wanted to be by the Rebbe?
Yeah.
So how did you make it happen?
I wanted to be there, and I was made, I'm a shlichus'n. I'm a little action, I was called by my family. It was Simchas Torah Tovshin Yud Zayin. That somehow, it was a year, almost a year, I don't know, 4 or 5 months after the shluchim came in. Tovshin Zayin, I think, the shluchim.
Zayin, yeah.
I decided I want to go. I remember me had verbracht by, who was the verbringen by the erste Nacht, Shmini Atzeres by Nacht. I think it was by Sholem Slavin. You heard the name of Sholem Slavin? He was the son of Avram Levi Slavin, a great Chassid given. You heard the name? Avram Levi?
It before.
Yeah. And everybody met Kiddush and Mashke. So I younger, aber ich habe nur mehr Kiddush auf Mashke. Und der Elam hat gerät, wegen die Schluchim, da habe ich gesagt dem Tat, ich will vorn zum Rebbe. Pische, du vorn zum Rebbe, da lernen Chassidus mehr und Damne mehr und ich meinte das.
Can't just go. You have to be roi.
Ja. Ich dachte, ich drehe nicht keinen Kopf. Und er genommen das Sach Maschke und ich habe ja die Chutzpe, ich habe gedacht, and that was eingegangen nach Juken Kopf, that I will go. And this is what happened. And then at the end of the year, I came Chof Zayin, Elul, Tovshin Yud Zayin to the Rebbe.
So you went straight from Eretz Yisroel to the Rebbe?
No. This is another parsha.
What happened?
First of all, I had to be potter mitzvah.
Mm-hmm.
My, so to speak, date was already to be lehitiatzvut, to be drafted. And then go there. And then, as a yeshiva bochur, I wouldn't have to...
You get a p'tur.
Not a p'tur. While I'm in yeshiva, I could learn.
Okay.
But you can't go out.
Mm.
What did I do? I'm a wilder mensch. I somehow übergedreht my passport that it should be instead 1 month, another month. 3 months earlier.
You change your passport?
Yeah, to that Leida,
your birthday.
I changed from, I don't remember how it was. And I had somebody to teach me how to do it.
So what is that?
So until then, I'm permitted to go out.
Okay.
But they only wrote 3 months, and I had to come back. Hab schon gekrogen. Na jetzt, meiste, me iron kesef.
You need
Where
money
we get money?
to travel.
Huh?
To travel.
Yeah. To travel, to have a was to wearing. Again, it's like if we were children, we didn't have canvas to essen. It wasn't later on in the years that schon geworden ist kosher. It was in the early youth.
There was nothing.
Yeah, it was hard. Baruch Hashem, it's not Rusland, but it's still not like it is now. So what happened? It was a guy, Sholem Slavin. He said to me, Zalman, ich bin der Mensch der Emes, ich kann dir geben 600 Lires, das fahren bis Paris. I said, he's going from Eretz Yisroel. It's Shenish kosher.
So you got 600 liras to leave.
Yeah. That's what he
I mean,
gave
you
me.
wrote to the Rebbe about this? No.
No.
Okay.
But wait a second. As I came to those,
To Paris.
to Paris, habe ich geschrieben,
Zum Rebbe.
dass ich will sein zum Rebbe. Und ich will affidavit. It was terrible. I got the answer. Learn by Rebbe Nissen Nebenov, das der Rebbe geschrieben. Through Rashak, through the yeshiva, because the yeshiva had to give us a visa. Oh, by the way, my brother, Oliver Sholem, my father was masking that April 1st finally is nehmen dein Bruder Elenech.
Rabbi Lipsker.
Yeah. Why? Because Rabbi Lipsker was almost ready to go to the army last year, because I'm schon geschmeckt.
He wanted to go to the army.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, so the day before this to foreign with him.
So if you're going, you schlep Eli
Yeah.
with you.
So
you went
this is
to-
what had happened.
So you and Eli are in Paris,
Yeah.
and you get a letter through Rashag, whatever that.
We
yeah.
asked a visitor with Herren,
You got a letter from
Gute-
the Rebbe? You got a letter from the
a letter from the yeshiva.
Techetim.
But Rabbi Mentlik wrote in it, Zeu divrei kosher von dem Rebben. Als wir wird hören, gute nice, when we will hear good news from Reb Nissen, v'chulu, from the yeshiva, wird man damals betrachten der Minyan.
So your father wasn't so off.
Huh?
Your father told you have to learn and before you go.
My father, as you can see, achsirische Ried.
Okay.
Und er hat das nicht gesagt, zusammen, der gesessen und mir noch ein guter bisschen Maschkisch, meine Erzeres. Anyway,
So you learned by the Nissen.
huh?
So you learned by the Nissen.
Yeah, and he took the opportunity. Oh, he took. I was a little upset about him, but I'm very happy that I was there.
Okay.
So this is how it happened. And then finally I came.
So you were there. So you were there. Tafshin.
What's the
Tafshin.
Tafshin Yudzayin?
Tafshin Yudzayin. You were in
Yeah,
France.
it was from the beginning of Shvat till
This was in Brunois.
in Brino.
Yeah.
No, I stood. Officially, I came to my uncle Sander Menkin and Ada Lipsker, actually, but Sander and Ada, my uncle. You remember I mentioned
yeah.
them? And I stood by them, but right away when he came, I had to go to the yeshiva. This is where we were.
Mm-hmm.
Just one little note that it's important that young kids and young Chassidim should know how ältere Chassidim cared and were mekusher zum Rebbe. It was a great Eid, a big Chassid. His name was Rabbi Zalman Lipsker. I don't know whether you heard your name.
Nech Benitsky.
Huh?
So Nech Benitsky.
Blenitsky, right. He was not in Brinois, in Modern Hotel, where my uncle Sander and Ada were there. And everybody looked up on him. Just to look on his face, you saw him, Mr. Chassid, and the writer. Did you ever see him? You were never here.
I never saw him, but I read
You
about
heard
him.
of him. He was a very, very geschmacked person to look at. A leif tave. To make the story short, we were there coming sometimes for Shabbosim, so we were known to him. So we told him when it came close that we are going
To the Rebbe.
to the Rebbe. the night before, me and my brother went up, and he was like gesagt, Dr. Nein means like gesagt and später. So we slept over by my uncle and aunt, and early morning we took, I don't remember, a taxi or whatever to go to the port in Marseille. There we had to pick up the boat. We didn't go by
Airplane.
aeroplane. This is a passion for sich. How we ended. As we went downstairs, and Rabbi Zalman Lipsker was. When I remind myself, I felt like crying. Ich kann nicht fahren zum Rebbe. Lochol apochas. Und wir begleiten. Let me escort and go down to see how young boys go to the Rebbe. This is something that stood with me and still sticks with me at a young. Very interesting.
You're saying that he's a...
He's an elder Chassid. Alter Yid. Can't move. Come with the schlepp. For him to go down from the steps, you're talking to me about steps. Hotel Modern in Paris, in Rue Bichat. It's a whole bunch of steps till you go down. It's like going down and step to step. He's downstairs. I came to part with you. And get dem Rebbe. So my brother gave her regards. I had other things to give over from them.
You had what?
I had other shlichus'n from my father before I left to give over to the Rebbe. So we decided what...
you split up. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
This was it. And we came to America.
So you said the date before. It was... You said the date before.
Chof Zayin Elul Tov Shin Yud Zayin, which is 3 days before Rosh Hashanah. Then when we came in, the first... By the way, together with us came 3 people. One of them was the Zocho Begeirel at that time. It was the first or the second, I don't remember. His name was Chatzko Springer, Yitzchak Springer's brother. And then I eat from Paris, Chaim Tashkenter, Olav Shalom. And then the third one was Meir Friedman, Frierdiker Friedman's older brother, which had gewaltige kiruvim von Rebbe. Mm-hmm. This is what they were. And when we came in with the boat, I remember Gershom Mendel, Itzke Springer, Frierdiker Friedman, who was here already, and somebody else came
to greet you.
To greet us, and somehow took I don't remember, a car or a Uber, but we went there. So we went right away to the mikveh, and for my Rebbe, we saw the first time the Rebbe. And we saw it was very, 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 very moving. Von einer Seite, Baruch Hashem, we are here, for the fear that we saw. It was like almost trembling.
You're trembling.
Yeah. No.
That's the way it was. Bichlal, whenever you saw the Rebbe?
Many times.
Mm-hmm. So you did right before Rosh Hashanah.
Yeah. Then an interesting story happened at that particular year. We shouldn't say, but it was an epidemic like.
Epidemic.
A lot of bochurim were sick. Have you ever heard it?
I heard about it, yeah.
They
were in the dormitory.
In all the dormitories, 6, 7, 6. Then it was on Troy Avenue. A lot were very sick. It happened by me. I was also sick.
What was the sickness?
I don't remember what. I got big fever.
Okay.
And it was problems. The Rebbe asked about certain people, and he asked the Mendlik, was he mit die Achem Lipsker? Then Elle went a little later, so he said, no, wie feels du?
You went to Yidden.
Huh?
You went to Yidden.
Yeah.
Wie feels
How you feel?
How you feeling?
Then it came Erev Yom Kippur. A lot of us were with heavy fever. I remember like today. I was trembling from the... But Erev Yom Kippur nicht gehen in Mikve. Mentlik. By the way, the Mentlik ist noch nicht gewesen, als Idwer Mentlik. Als Bittel die Kerid, such a devoted and mekusher and totally ainly mitzias artsman, just the Rebbe, in the Inyanim what he had to be. He asked the Rebbe what to do. And the Rebbe said, Einmal wird nicht schatten.
The Kabbalah from the Baal Shem Tov.
And he added, see a Kabbalah from Baal Shem Tov.
Rebbe added.
I said, Einmal nicht schatten. I remember like today, I'm still around.
You did one tefillah.
I think it turns out, not really going to get tefillah. Yeah. That's all. I don't remember, it was 3 times the Einmal.
No, one time.
One time means, usually we go Erev Yom Kippur 3 times.
Oh, that's what it means?
I don't know. Ich weiß nicht. I thought, not like you think. I thought it was probably Einmal. This is what I think. I went 3 times. That meant 3 tefillahs.
I misunderstood the whole thing.
I don't know. Huh?
I thought it means one.
I don't know. Maybe I missed what this is what I think. As Einmal wird nicht schatten.
Einmal wird schatten.
Well, yeah, I'm sure you heard this story.
But I
need, but die haben überlebt, but die in die ganze Klal, die ganze Gruppe. Then later on, most of us became healthy. Then it was Sukkah's time, where the Rebbe was eating by the Sukkah, but now he's the Sukkah Gdele. It was sticking out a porch, and there it was the Sukkah. Then they were eating.
By the Frierdiker Rebbe's apartment?
Yeah, upstairs. But in Frierdiker Rebbe, some people were still sick. Pinja Altis were that year. And he said, mit der Verbrochen für Megershon Mendel Gerelik, und der Rebbe gegeben, mal gucken, so, ich habe ihm gesehen, sich verbehalten in die Suche.
Yes, so Gershon Mendel, even though he was sick, was...
You heard about it?
I did hear about that, yeah.
Okay, I remember.
I was going to ask you, there's a story of Gershon Mendel with this, yeah.
I told you Gershon Mendel.
Yeah.
Look, these things are by me like it happened today. Then it became that year, the Purim Toshin Chai. I must say that the Rebbe should me geholfen. It was in a hall in Albany Avenue. So I said, here is the Rebbe sitting. Here is the Rashak sitting. Look, you see what I'm talking about? Mm-hmm. And here is Rabbi Mentlik standing with the cup, Arsara Mashkim. There it was Sholem Ber Butman and somebody else and me. And I saw Mamesh every single thing. And I repeated to people. Later on, I found out, just a week ago, we went off a bringing. I mentioned something, so I said, ich habe es gehört auf dem Tape. Die Wörter, was it was then, I don't know whether I should mention it publicly.
It's all recorded.
Huh?
It's all recorded. It's recorded.
Okay, so you want to say I should do?
No, whatever.
No, that's a niche. For more important things, what I do want to mention, that finally when the Rebbe was agreed not to take the 4th cup of Benedictine, so he turned to Rebbe Mentlik, and he said, no, also mis will nicht soll, sagt ihr L'chaim. Ist er zugegangen und genommen dem Cup, and he took the cup and said, L'chaim. They're gone, some glory. And we saw that man is gone. We saw Mama, the man is gone. This was already came out early morning.
Right.
And they said, they sang the right news. As they sang the right news, he wanted to give a clap on the tish. In front of the Rebbe. But again, between the mentions, he wanted to give a clap. His ears, he wasn't different. But they saw the Rebbe, he right away held back. The minute they took out the Rebbe,
And the Rebbe
collapsed.
left. And the Rebbe left.
When the Rebbe left, they let the Rebbe go out.
Mm-hmm.
He moved. He collapsed. Mit dem Kamm aufgeheben. I don't know whether you heard about it. You didn't.
I did hear about it, but yeah.
You did?
I heard about it, yeah. It doesn't mean... I don't know if I heard it from someone who was there. 'Cause
Huh?
I don't know if I heard it from someone who was there or I heard a cliché, so...
I never heard, I saw it.
Yeah.
By me, that man is a Yid that is totally übergeben zum Rebbe. I know when the erste Shluchim seine gefahren, the Rebbe said to them that he should go with them. You know about it? He never took off the gartel.
Yeah.
This I know for a fact. How? Because the people who were there were with him, came out the gun side, and he would never move. Whether he went to sleep in this, I don't know. But they saw it, they say. Now, ich bin noch schöne Yidden damals.
What was the... you said that you had shlichus'n to bring to the Rebbe. So you had shlichus'n to bring to the Rebbe when you came. So this was in Yidden? Like
Huh?
you said that people sent you with things that you and Eli split up. That
No, that's from my father, certain things.
So this was in Yidden?
Personal things that the Rebbe, that he wanted to... We should give over the Rebbe.
What happened when you went into Yidden? When did you
What
go?
happened? All the things, this is why it's Yechidus, not...
That's why we're sitting here, no?
Huh?
That's why we're sitting here, no?
To tell Yechidus, to tell about the Rebbe, but not Yechidus.
Not Yidden?
I don't think so. Things what it could be about Yechidus, you could say.
So is there anything from Yidden that you could say?
Yes, I could say that once when I was a bochur in yeshiva, the Rebbe mentioned that to me about a problem. I did... forgot one day Rabbeinu Tam's film, and I asked the Rebbe, I was upset, you know. So the Rebbe told me certain things, and he said, sollst lernen alle Haloches an Itzroches lepeil, und ich meine nicht wegen Tainis und die andere Haloches, ich meine Haloches an Itzroches lepeil.
Tefillin.
No, Haloches an Itzroches lepeil.
Chlal.
Ja. Und du kannst das lernen von dem in Shara Kelel, wie ruft sich das an, von meinen Seiden. I thought I should learn this. Und hat mir gesagt, wie schwer es soll nicht sein, das ist der Loschen für Reben. Mit der Zeit, was darf es gehen zum Seder Yeshiva, wie soll es sein, ohne Rabbeinu Tam's Tefillin soll es nicht erwägen. Und das hat echt ein Ort, I will repeat it in English, das hat echt ein Ort, und mit der shlichus'n abrocha. Und kannst du sagen zu deiner Chaverin Bishmi oder Shalei Bishmi. Das ist ja das, was ich kann dir sagen. Aber man darf legen, Rabbeinu Tam's Tefillin, wie schwer es soll nicht sein. Von Yechidus
You were going to say it in English.
Okay. The Rebbe answered me that regardless of the time, even though it's almost close to the Seder, you have to eat and then come to the Seder, you should not live without putting Rabbeinu Tam's Tefillin. It has also a bochur, a reason, because of halacha. And what is it? Mitzat shlichus'n abrocha. Shlichus'n abrocha, that about Rabbeinu dollars.Filled comes after Rashi. In Rashi, this is my explanation. He made a brocha. Right after this, Somuch Lezeh, you should put on the Rabbeinu Tam's
There's no bracha in the minute time. So.
There is no brocha.
Yeah.
This is what the answer is.
So the hira is that you should always put on a minute time right after davening.
And thank God this I fulfilled. And a lot of them I helped them with that too. And I know that later on, he mentioned that to somebody else that has a place in Smichas HaBrocha.
This episode is sponsored by Chabad of Napa Valley. Shlichus'n Harav Rebbe Moshe v'zogasim Maris Chana Zlata u'mishpachtem sheyichu Tenenbaum for Hatzlacha Rabba u'Muflaga in their shlichus in Napa Valley, California.
So my shaila is, when you were a bochur in 770, what was the, I don't know what the word to use, but the yachas and the relationship to the Rebbe in those years?
Very good. First of all, I had a personal thing. Once, as a bochur, we had from 770, on the same side of 770, past Brooklyn, on the same side of Eastern Parkway, was our dormitory, and at that time it was our kitchen, our place where we ate. And at times, it was like right after Shachris, about 10, 15, we used to meet the Rebbe on the way, because when we came to Brooklyn, he turned in from Brooklyn to Eastern Parkway. Once, I was walking with Abbe Paltiel, walking together from 770 to eat. It was a week and a half or 2 weeks past Pesach. As we saw the Rebbe turning in, we stopped right away. As he passed us, as he was passing us, he said, "Ona mantel, shem badir zumer." Like somebody said, without a coat? Imagine, it was already after Pesach. Without a coat. Shem badir zumer. It's bayur summer already. He asked me a personal thing. This is what I can tell you. And then I was learning in Mirer Yeshiva Tanya. That must have been Tovshin Chof already later. Then, as was in Tovshin Chof, we had a problem. They found out, I had it for over a half a year. Rabbi Kalmanovich found out about it and he warned the bochurim that if they will again come to the shiurim, he will throw him out of the yeshiva. I didn't know what to do. So it was a while till I came into Yechidus. So I figured instead of writing to the Rebbe, I'll hold it off. I couldn't do anything. And I went into Yechidus and told the Rebbe the whole story. In writing, I wouldn't talk. I wouldn't be able, I could hardly answer, but that's about all. Then he said to me, "Welcher Kalmanovich? Der Alter, sie der Jünger? The old one or the young one? He didn't learn yet?" Apparently had a meise with the Frierdiker Rebbe. Nu, als wir bald zu gegangen an See, darf man nicht lernen dort. Gleich leben die Yeshiva voran dort nach Young Israel. Leben und ihr losen lernen dort. And I started learning there.
Young Israel.
It's an interesting story.
Yeah.
Did I ever tell you that story? No.
I think so.
Yeah, I did. Okay.
But I know it doesn't make a difference. The question is what everyone else knows. And you were also...
From the Shivo Kanim.
Yeah, if you're from the Kanim. So
That's right.
So it was describe what is the Kanim and what does it mean?
It was very interesting. This is a great shlichus from one hand, but apparently with every shlichus comes a great responsibility. We got pretty beat up once Erev Rosh Hashanah, Tovshin Chof, and Tovshin Yutes, Erev Rosh Hashanah, Tovshin Chof.
So what is the kanim first?
The kanim was that the Rebbe wanted bochrim 7 should devote themselves on limud achsidus extra, and 7 who should devote themselves on limud anigla extra. And he was the one, the Hanhola was suggesting a lot of bochrim, and then this is what they say, he chose which one, which yes, which not, which nigla, which chassidus. And this is what he did. And then he wanted that the kanim should learn more and get more involved with the koch. And he also wanted we should say pilpulim every Friday in nigla, and Shabbos nachts in Shabbos nachts in nigla, on Friday because a short day in nigla can be a bit longer in the winter times. And that's weiter. But apparently at the end, it's all because of Fufuratsko. But Lepeil, he wasn't happy with the Rebbe, me, who can, like the Rebbe once expressed himself, I gave more, Dr. Ross. It's good that you gave more, but I expected more. But Rebbe, I get Epes is nicht genug. It does not matter. Especially we weren't as... apparently the Rebbe wasn't happy. And then Rosh Hashanah he called us in. And that was also called in at that time the couple Mashpim, Rabbi David Raskin, and that was Avram Chaner Glitzenstein, who also came at that time. Apparently he said the same meaning from the Forat Steich dort in Eretz Yisroel. And he cried. And this was with the Kanim.
The Rebbe cried that...
when he spoke.
What did the Rebbe say?
That I had in mind to do more in the minyan for Foratsto. Ja, the Hapelis Lefonenu, through Teire, and das ist bringen Moshiach. Truly what the Rebbe meant, he knew more than we did. But at least what we meant, understood what he meant is that we should behave a little more better. More devotion, more koch in them, na sie weiter und weiter. Sie niglet, sie chassidus, na sie weiter.
So it continued afterwards.
Hmm?
It continued afterwards.
Continue afterwards.
The kanim continued afterwards.
Huh?
The kanim continued.
And then they continued.
You
Is
have,
it still here? No, I don't know.
I think they still, I'm not sure.
Yeah?
I don't know.
But we were the first one.
So
And we were there that the Rebbe, they sent in a lot of bochrim. We were chosen.
right. The Rebbe chose the names.
The Rebbe chose the... Again, this is what I was told, even if you went in Rebbe's room. I just know that Rabbi Hodakov, Rabbi Mendlik, hat mir reingerufen und gesagt, du bist von der Shiva, keine mesirus. And that's it.
What happened with your brother Eli? I know that the Rebbe was a mekar of him. You had a whole story.
Yeah, it was a very... My brother had a gewaltig in Chushinegine, Oliver Shalom. He wasn't Seder, but somehow he arranged that in the evening, once or twice a week, he could go. And he missed a couple
To
of
go
times
where?
to a place of Negine. Where he went, I don't know.
Like to learn
Negine,
instruments.
notes and this kind of thing.
Okay.
Not Chas v'Sholom anywhere else. And apparently there were some, I don't want to mention the names, that this I know, and because I was very upset about it. And I was ready to bochur mission. I was a wild boy. A little wild in certain good things. Anyway, so on a meeting that they, I don't know whether every week or once a month, the Anhola went into Rebbe, and it was suggested that Maris far from Yeshiva.
Throw him out.
Yeah, Rauswerfen means to throw him out from the yeshiva. At that point, the Rebbe turned around. Hat ihm gefragt, ob sie empfiehlt Geld wegen dem? Efter darf haben mehr Geld auf dem? Became to them a shock. Instead, I was from yeshiva.
Rebbe wants to know if you asked him if he has money for it.
Ask him whether he has Geld and he needs money or not. That was it. Then later on, the Rebbe called him mein Menagim.
But the Rebbe paid for it himself? No.
Huh?
The Rebbe didn't pay it himself?
No,
Yeah.
no, chas v'shal.
Yeah.
He wouldn't take it.
Yeah. So the Rebbe, so the Rebbe called him a menagin. Listen.
Mein Bal
Mein
Menagim.
Bal menagin.
I did confirm it, you know with whom? With Label Groner.
Yeah.
I asked him, and he said that the Rebbe once referred to him, and he said, mein Bal Menagim.
Well, he did Necheach and he did all the
Mein
choir.
Bal Menagim.
Saying because of this.
Yeah.
Necheach and all the things. They always
That's
play by all
right,
the
that's
rallies,
right,
the
that's
choir.
right. Originally, nobody was around besides Tolashevsky.
Right.
And the Rebbe, he played for most of the time, for the rallies, which became later in Chof Aleph, Chof Beis. Apparently, they are different. The Rebbe has megala to us that every inyan in Gashmis has to be in a Teireveg penetrating at Ruchnis. And take from that Gashmis and machen it Ruchnis. Then again, I met a man, as of today, that he said that he can't get over how Rabbi Lipsker taught me music. I still sing, and I'm still enjoying it. It was in a day school, I think in Queens somewhere. But he gave Masach Inyonim.
I was in his choir.
Oh, you too? Okay. It was an interesting story.
Yeah.
Well, again, das macht was Rebbe is. The Rebbe feels every aver in his, which we are all, what is Rebbe? Reish B'nai Yisroel. A head feels even a toenail. And if a toenail hurts, the head feels it. What says? Elo, we have to be connected. If Chas v'Sholem, we are a little bit separated, this is the angenam. How do we connect? To try to listen. It's important to learn Chitas. It's important to learn Rambam. Lav davke, if a person can't trip rokim, it's ein perek. Oder I feel like it's ein perek, l'chol apoches, Sefer HaMitzvahs, but learning and deinem mikusha to them. That's the only way.
Are the certain things, times of the year, when you're in 770, when you're a bochur, Simchas Torah, I mean that stick out in your mind. I imagine you were there when the Rebbe taught the niggunim.
Yes, all of them. From Yutes, Chof, Chof Aleph, Chof Beis, Chof Gimel. Bin ich gewähnt b'shas den niggunim und ich Chof Dalet. Chof Dalet, I think, is gewähnt Hu Elokeinu.
It was Hu Elokeinu and Kianu.
Huh?
Hu Elokeinu and Kianu. It was two.
You're the second Kianu.
Yeah.
The other Kianu was even before I came.
So what could you tell me about when the Rebbe taught the niggunim?
I remember the fact that the Rebbe came down with a small bottle of mashke. This was early morning Simchas Torah, I would say. Yeah, early morning Simchas Torah. And he used to bag on a card a castle from milk, a box of milk, and he stood on it.
You remember that?
Sure. At the first three nigunim, I remember on that.
On the crate.
Even the Shamil sneaking, I remember on this. Shabbos niggun was on Chof.
I don't remember.
Anybody have the
Maybe we could check it up quickly, but I don't
yeah,
remember.
could we check it out? Please check it out. Anybody have the...
You need to know now?
Yeah, why not? Because it's important for me. I could...
So we could find out. It's very simple.
please. And if I make a mistake, we can correct it. Nicht
Very
talking
simple.
verfallen.
The Rebbe taught Shamil Tafshin Yud Tes.
All right, the first thing, what was your Ches? I thought it was Chof. I don't know why.
Nachamana was it Tafshin? No, that was Tafshin Chof. I'm not sure you
Huh?
I'm not sure.
No. Maybe Tzomo?
I have the whole list right here.
Hmm?
Which year you want? Which year did you ask? Which year did you ask?
Yud Ches.
Yud Ches. First of all, the Rebbe taught Tzamlecha Nafshi.
Tzomo.
Yeah.
I
Tzamlecha
said
Nafshi.
Tzomo Lecho.
Yeah, Tzamlecha.
Das gedenke ich sie behind. Ey, Tzomo, 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 Tzomo Lechona. Shi, koma, 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 koma Lecho, sorry. Echt die durni Marco, stoti jediš naj, jar Marco, nie kuplaješ, nie prodaješ, toliko robi zwanku. Dann weiter und weiter. Dann noch ich gewinn Shamils, und dann noch ist gewinn, aber was ich will sagen, what I want to tell you is that he used to come down with a bottle mashke, a small bottle, and stood on a cart of milk, which it wasn't too high. And it was a shalash at that time. It wasn't the 770 that you could see now. It was a little cover from still the sukkah that was there. And he said, anyone who will undertake to learn Chassidus, he will get l'chaim. And there were a lot of things that he said to some people that ich will lernen, ich stamme. And this was for almost every year like this. Now, in the later, like Chof Beis and Chof Gimel, is given on top of the Bima. I remember something outstanding besides Shamil Nigen, which everybody was wondering how the Rebbe was able to go so high. Ooh, how he was going to die, but I don't know why, but something stuck to me, Take Bastavia Pitu. I had a little shlichus'n in it. This way I remember very. Ele, by the way, my brother was always close for the last couple niggunim. He was called upstairs to listen to the niggunim. Heske Gansburg, Moshe Tolishevsky, Eli. And the Rebbe that sealed the Meise from Stavia Pitu, and he started to singing it. We the bochur stood all around, and I heard Einmal, but apparently it was they couldn't repeat it so good.
It's a hard niggun.
Huh?
How did it work? Did Rebbe sing the whole niggun and then ask the
then he said it again. Then he asked for the menagdim to happen this. Mm-hmm. And by the way, on every niggun that he taught that early morning, immediately for bringing of the night, which is the Verbringen von before Simchas Torah ends.
The next day.
Yeah, it's that day. It is early morning.
Yeah.
The Rebbe used to sing that niggunim again. Anyway, we were listening to that, then all of a sudden the Rebbe said, Fran ist da noch einer, was hat a stickel Chush in niggunim. Und ich tracht, also kann ein bisschen Russisch sich und Ukrainisch. And nobody knows what it meant. Fran auf der Zalman von Lipsker von Eretz Yisroel. I never knew that I had a Chush in niggunim. I will not forget. I flew up like an airplane. I don't know how I did it. And I stood right there. And I love that song. Stavia Pitu, Piatnitsu. Oh, Piatnitsu. Propo ya propu Mayu telitsu Treba nate ya gulate Treba nate ya brechate Ay cheshbon tzedeko davati Pret panum chazayinum ot vichate ami piem da piem da mi gulayim o mi trinken yayin azoy vimayim Und wir sagen alle zusammen L'chaim. Wer doch was ich mach min ha-shamayim. Stavia bitu subotu. Oh, subotu, propo ya, propu, mayu rabotu, treba nate yak gulate, treba nate yak brechate. Ay, cheshbon tzedek, oh, davati, pret panu, chazayinu, ot vichati, ami piem, da piem, da mi gulayim, o mi trinken yayin, azoy vimayim. O mir zogun alle zusammen l'chaim. Ve'atot ishma min ha-shamayim. Interesting enough. It's something that again stuck to me like today. As mentioned before, that the niggunim that he taught early morning, he was by the Verbringen he sang again. And at that niggunim, he started to sing again. And he said, O mir trinken yayin azay vimayim. O mir sagen alle zusammen l'chaim. Ve'atot ishma min ha-shamayim. At the end, at the second mole, it came like this. Oh, Cheshbon tzedek odovati. He picked up his hands and he said, I give out. Cheshbon tzedek odovati. Das meint man mir und dir und dir und dir. And second, the same thing again. But gesehen, what it meant, basically nicht. There were a lot of speculations, that it means him, he means them. But mir Chassidim, you have to know that means us. Cheshbon tzedek odovati. And this is what the Rebbe wants from us. Noch dem Zurigangen Ayalo, Rosh Hashanah. Noch Ende von die Shlichus, Rosh Hashanah, Teres Metshuva, im Kippur, und wir halten schon tot. Darf man wissen, Cheshbon tzedek odovati. Especially mir Chassidim. Wir dürfen auch gedenken, die Geschmackheit, was wir haben, mit einem beim Rebbe. Und der Rebbe ist with us. And the more we think about it and we live with that, we see it in more practicality.
You had a famous story that happened with you that a lot of us grew up on, but I didn't know till a few years ago that it was with you, with the tefillin.
Everybody knew that it was with me.
I didn't know.
I was with Yankel Neach. This was in Tovshin Chof Beis. I was with Yankel Neach, Oliver Sholem Kranz, who became later on my mechutin. Yossi, my son, is a Eidim by Yankel. We came from a big trip of Merkaz Shlichus.
You spoke English then?
A little bit.
I think the way it worked was that one person spoke English and one didn't.
It was good. I habe da goed gelernt, a paar Wörter in English damals. But I did my job. Anyway, I tried to do my job.
But it's a true thing that they would make one bochur that spoke English and one didn't?
Not dafke. Oise kommen als mit erzählt auf ich denke nicht.
Did Rabbi Yale with someone else?
Yeah, something. Yeah.
I think he got mixed up with...
Springer,
I think Rabbi Yale would always get mixed up. They say that Yale got mixed up between the word money and morning. Instead of saying good morning, you'd say good money. But Rabbi Yosel Abrams told me he went with...
Yosel Abrams, you and good in English.
Yeah, so he went with Yisrael Friedman, he told me.
That's true.
Yeah.
Anyway, we came from Merkaz Shlichus, and we came, it was Yudches Menachem Ov, well, Shabbos he given Chof. I was tired. The Rebbe used to have Yechidus 3 times that week, Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday. It was Thursday night that we came, and the Rebbe had Yechidus. I came together with him in 770, and he apparently went somewhere, and I went in the Cheder Sheni, where, the small zimmer in upstairs 770.
Cheder Sheni.
And I truly collapsed. I was so tired, because we not like now drove with planes and with Essen. I know that I lost about 6 or 7 pounds for this couple of weeks, but with a little matzah, with a little ketchup. And I had heartburn. Anyway, I habe eingeschlafen. And somehow somebody is tapping me. I said to myself, I hope nobody bothers me. And if he'll bother me again, I will give him a matnas yad. You know what a matnas yad means? 2-3 minutes later again, I made him a lesson to it. And again I said, okay, let me do. At the 3rd time, I just turned. And then, Rabbi Hodakov. There is a famous statement that yain kosher pachad mepige. You know what it means? When a person is really, really, really drunk, when you have fear, you have respect for somebody, all of a sudden become sober. We knew that Hodakov, at least by us, in those days, And if he does it, it's in Milo. And he was such an interesting person at certain times. He said, oh, Rabbi Zalman, wann bist du gekommen? Rabbi Zalman. You kannst reingehen zu mir. Willst du Pistons? I said, sure. I was the happiest man. It was a whole bunch. It was 3 or 4 bochur in the other place. All stones, all done. So I went in, I washed my hand, and he said, do is a portfolio. It was 2:30 in the morning probably. And he said, could you give my address? I'll give you an address. Take this film and go to this and this place and to on with them film. And you can say that the Lubavitcher Rebbe hat geschickt dir dorten. So I said, sure. And he gave me how to go. Ich will roggen downstairs. Ich will nehmen die IRT, von IRT, train IRT, ist vorn bis Brooklyn Bridge, und dann noch nehmen die Beiten von till Nubat 7, wir gehen mal ganz das. Und noch ist ankommen to Long Beach, und soll dann nicht kommen früher wie 6, aber echt nicht später wie 6. So I went to the mikveh, to the Krastirer mikveh. It was the Krastirer mikveh at that point. And he told me, make sure that you don't come before 6, but no later than 6. So, and make sure, again, to take the film with you and say that you were sent by the Lubavitcher Rebbe to put on film with him. So I said, sure. I was the happiest man. In order to not to, wie haben wir gesagt, delay, so right when I went to the mikveh, to the Krastirer mikveh, which was across 770, right by the corner of Brooklyn Eastern Parkway, across the street.
7-Eleven.
Yeah, but it's across from the Rebbe used to go to the mikveh there. And I came back, and about 5 o'clock, 4:30, I already was there. 5:45, I was hanging around in front of that place. Back and forth. He cooked up on Zeger. And as it came 6 o'clock, as I knocked at the door, a man was standing by the door apparently because he was holding his attaché bag. He opened the door and he said, I forgot to say, he said, you'll meet a man, Mr. Shelder, Louis Shelder, and say that this is the film that the Rebbe sent that you should put on with him film. So when he opened the door, I said, are you Louis Shelder? So he said, yes. And I said that the Lubavitcher Rebbe sent me to put on film. Oh, come in. Again, I'm going to stop right there. It's punct 6 o'clock. I went in. I remember like today, it was a young maidel running around there. She must have been 5 or 6 years. They put on film. He did no mamish from nothing. Mamish gar nicht. And as I put on film with him, so he said, and I said to him that the Rebbe said that you should keep it and try to put on film. Can I pay you something? So I said, what? Can I give you something? He had a big bar. A bottle of wine. I didn't want to take it. Goyish wine. I said, no. Then he had all kinds of vodka. So, can I give you something? I said, yeah. And I said, I motioned on the Smirnoff, and he gave me one. And then he asked me, where are you going? So I said, I'm going to Crown Heights. He said, where are you going? I asked him back. So I said, yeah, I'm going to Manhattan, but till Manhattan we could be together, and then I'll tell you what train to take back to Crown Heights. As we went on the train, he said,
I have a question. The bottle of mashke was for you or to give it to the Rebbe?
he asked me, I didn't say anything.
Okay.
No, you can verstehen, was ich hab ja in meine.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't take it for myself. Man weiß nicht kein Haar bei Arbeit, Rabbi Yosef. I said, I'll take a bottle of mashke. He offered me something, that I'll take. You're Lubavitcher Rebbe, he said. I was last night acquainted with him, private. Rabbi Nissen Mindel, who is my neighbor, who also lives in Long Beach, talked me somehow to go to him. And I was there close to an hour or more. And in the middle, he's asking me, are you putting on film? So he said he didn't even know. Do you have film? I said, no. Would you put it on? I don't know how. And he didn't ask me those questions directly.
Consecutively. Like right,
one after the other. But we were talking about something else. Then he asked me what time I'm coming to home, what time I'm leaving the home, what's my type of a job. Then he said, again, if you would have to film, would you put it on? So again he said, but I don't know how. And he continued with something else. Then again he said, if you have somebody who would put it on with you, would you come? Would you put it on? I said, yeah, sure. And here you are. He did not pressure me, but somehow he found out what time I'm leaving. But he made sure that I would put on film. And I just came up a few hours ago. This was the story. As I came back, this is already my... and I gave over the bottle mashke to Rabbi Hodakov, zu dem Rebbe, was ist gekommen von Louis Schelder. And I gave him the whole report. As I came about 11:30, Rabbi Hodakov called me, and I said, but I got scared. Rabbi Hodakov wrote me. So I said, so the Rebbe asked whether I was by the Seder Chassidus. By the way, the Rebbe at that time made sure that Friday should be a Seder Chassidus. It was a time that Friday didn't have an Chassidus, but the Rebbe said a half hour later, but 8 o'clock should be. So I answered, this was the story so far. Shabbos, so the Rebbe somehow called Rabbi Zalman Lipsker, he called me up to give me l'chaim from that bottle of mashke.
From that bottle?
From that bottle. So now you have the answer that I didn't take it for myself.
So what do you learn from the story?
Was
lernt man?
Was lernt man von dem? Als Aid, Batzoln, verton a gute Sache, tut man nicht. To bringen Aid a Teva, der Rebbe soll ihm der Monnen beim Verbringen, das tut man ja.
But what do you learn from the whole story?
From the whole story? Oh, from every area you could learn this story. When you speak to somebody, don't pressure him. Talk to him, but don't pressure him. And be smart. When people, for good things, you don't ask payment. You can ask payment for good things, but not what you did directly. In a way that you accomplish, somebody should do a mitzvah, because of it you should take money. You understand? En die letzte Sache, was mir sagt, als dem Reben ist eine Gehe, a Eid, was keinmal nicht gelegt kann fühlen, was ist dem eine Gehe? Also und fühlen. Reish Bnei Yisroel. Und fühlt jeder einem in seinen Kopf. This is what I think. What do you learn from this story, young man?
I think you said it best.
Huh?
I think you said it best.
Well, I don't know what else is there to say.
Good.
It's interesting enough, about 20-some years ago, when I was in Philadelphia, I get a phone call. I don't know whether I told you about it once. I don't know whether I mentioned it to anybody. I get a phone call. I'm looking for a Lipsker. I called in Eretz Yisroel and I called in New York and they denied me. My maiden name was Shelder, and I remember that a Lipsker came early morning to put on film with my father. Who, are you the ones? I said, yes. You remember the little Mädel? She said, yes. And she told me that Ziochen Baruch Hashem Einiklach. And since then, my father became we changed our home, and our home became a Yiddische, and a Chassidische home, Chassidische home, she said. And I'm now in Jerusalem, in my kindergarten, and so weiter. And I don't mind to say it, but her man did not know how it came about, because of nicht Chassidische Rede. And she always tried to tell it to him. She's afraid.
Wow. Okay.
Later on, the lady told the story, and it was printed in Mishpacha. Oh, by the way, he told me that I'm asking you, well, he called me Rabbi. When you get married, you should invite me. Half a year, 3/4 year later, I got married. And I came to the wedding with Nissim Mindel and his wife.
Beautiful. Where did you get married? In New York?
In New York, yeah. About my marriage, my mother came. My father got sick. He was sick. And she asked the Rebbe, he should be Mesader Gedushin. 2 years that the Rebbe is not Mesader Gedushin. So the Rebbe said, yeah. Oh ja, danke, sagt my Mama dem Rebbe. And apparently the Rebbe thought that my mother thinks he will really be Mesader Gedushin. So he stopped her and said, ich meine nicht in Gashmis, ich meine Ruchnis. Und ich sagte, die Mama war gefragt, vor was? Sagte, ja, ist wert, mir soll ein Mesader Gedushin sein. He's worthy, is what he said to my mother.
You're worthy.
He's worthy. By the way, this story told me my brother, Eli. He went in with her.
Oh, you weren't there?
I wasn't there. He's worthy. Of Ober, he said, Ba'achasana, everyone wants that the wishes should be from the entire heart to the Chosen Kala. If they will see his chavens, his chaverim and friends, then he might Mesader Gedushin and the other one need, but then are jealous. Ich weiß nicht, the brochus will sein mit der Emes. I don't know whether the brochus will be in a true way. This was the answer. But ich will sein bei the Chasana door. That's what he said.
So you got married in New York, in Crown Heights?
In New York. No, not in Crown Heights. We went from there to Williamsburg, where all the Chasanas went.
So the chuppah was in Williamsburg?
Yeah. But the Rebbe Tznchan hat geschickt, der Rebbe hat geschickt und der Rebbe Tznchan hat geschickt a Telegram.
You had a connection with the Rebbe Tznchan when you were a bochur?
My mother went into her when she came.
She knew her from before?
This I don't know. I don't think so.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you got married, and after your marriage,
I was one of the 4 that the kollel started.
the first year of the kollel.
Yeah, it was Yossel Deitch, myself, and Arole Chitrik.
So that was the whole kollel.
Yeah. And then in the afternoon, a halben Tag is Motel Chaim gekommen, not a complete for him, and Arole Serebransky. And then it started the kollel little by little.
So where was the kollel?
Hmm?
Where was the kollel?
Upstairs where the Weiberschule is now.
And the Rebbe also gave you the Chamri HaKollel a job, right?
Yes. And this is to make ha'oretz of the Likutei Torah, Mara Mekemes of the Torah. And I had the job to bring the Mara Mekemes for all the psukim, from the Torah, Nevi'im, Ksuvim. I had to bring in the Mara Mekemes. And that was that every week, one of the kollel is collected from everyone the Mara Mekemes, and Saturday night we brought it in to the Rebbe. In other words, one brought in all the...
Every week another one of you would bring it to the Rebbe.
I happened to be the 4 times. I remember in one of the times, the Chassene, I asked her personal things. And I gave the Rebbe, and then I stood, I can't fragen in the Rebbe. So the Rebbe said, somehow. So you give him a turn, you can see Yichidus. And I asked him, and he answered me, Baruch Hashem.
Personal matter.
Yeah.
So how did the shlichus in Philadelphia happen?
Oh, as the year ended, I had a couple hatzoes. In those days...
1 second, you knew you're going to go on shlichus for sure?
Huh?
You knew for sure that you're going to go on shlichus?
That I will go on shlichus? I wanted to.
That's what I'm asking.
Whether I wanted to.
You knew for sure you wanted to go on shlichus.
What do you mean? I don't know whether I will become a shliach or not, but I wanted to be on shlichus.
Okay.
That was the whole game, the ganze... And I would suggest 4 things. In those days already, it was suggested, and we used to bring it to the Rebbe.
What year did you get married? What year is this?
Chof Gimel.
So this is Chof Daled.
Chof Daled.
Mm-hmm.
I came in the Chof Daled. When did I come? Before Kislev Chof Daled. Gleich nach Tishrei, erst von die Ende vergessen. A year. I was suggested Queens for a Talmud Torah. I was suggested Sweden. I was suggested, what was the third one? The 4th one was Philadelphia. So the Rebbe rumgeringelt Philadelphia. That was it. Officially, I came there as a tournament als Melamed. And obviously, in the afternoon when I came, I did all kinds of mivtzoyim and so weiter. Later on, when I came, it's interesting, the first Yechidus that I came with my wife from Philadelphia, and at that time, the Rebbe turned around to me, as I went in, I gave the title, "Nu, was Herzach in Philadelphia." I didn't know what he meant. I'm standing like... Ich mein mit den Schnee Ksorim, Schnee Melochim hamishtamshim b'keser echad. So again, I thought maybe it means me and Avramo. I didn't know.
Rabbi Shem Tov.
This is what I told Rabbi Shem Tov. I don't know what it means. Dr. noch einmal, mit den Schnee Melochim, am Ishtamshim bekesser Echod, but das ist der Rav Yoles und der Rav Noveseller. Rav Yoles was the chief rabbi, and he wrote in the yellow book, Rav Noveseller, the chief judge, or the pastor in the Shilas. Dayan. How do you say in English, basically?
Okay.
And I didn't answer and said, but I've done time at Beten good.
See, those two were...
Yeah,
Rebbe.
everybody had their own opinion
So
by
that's-
them.
and Rebbe's
And
telling
the Rebbe told me, I didn't do das sein mit Beten gut. It's a very, and I took this as a hero for my life. That wenn sie kommt zu Unionen von größerer Balabatschkeit, nicht weisen, I'm thinking his side or his side. I am above both of them. It's not my... and Baruch Hashem, mit dem ich matzliach gewinnt mein Shlichus. It's a very gewaltige hero.
Yeah.
Danach habe ich gehabt gewisse Shlichus in Meshach, Philadelphia. The Rebbe suggested me that I should make sure that at that time when I came, it was Meglach und Inglach till the 5th grade, zusammen in Beis Yankiv. You hear?
Yeah.
They were teaching in the same grade, Inglach and Meglach, and they separated in the 5th grade. So the Rebbe turned to him, that was them machen von ersten grade on, ersten Kitte on.
That should be separate.
Separate. And Baruch Hashem, I worked in it and it went through. I must say that Rabbi Popek, all of us, Shalom, helped me a lot in that.
He was the principal?
He wasn't the principal, he was the director who schaffed the Geld. This was the first thing that I brought through. And it was very hard, but we did it.
And then later you started doing things for Israelis, right?
A minute. While I was teaching, I was also doing in the afternoon all kinds of pulas. Rabbi Shem Tov was there, and I was mekarev in the afternoon Yidden. I was only teaching till 3 o'clock. And I used to come till very late. Later on, I also took a little job, and the kinder started to come. Davon Parnose. So I also taught in a high school. It's called the high school in the synagogues, a conservative synagogue. Aber ich nicht gehen in a conservative synagogue. Habe ich gefragt dem Rebbe, was mir soll tun? Sagte er, ist ja jetzt im Harav Mordei Asra. Ich habe gefragt Rabbi Zalman Lipsker, er gesagt, dass the school is separate from the shul in a different, wie er sagt, da ist lang in der Schule, no front the school is next to. Und also, noch hat Yom, dort mekar auch in a Sach, gebracht dem Rebbe, zum Rebbe, a Sach Menschen. Und sie gewähnen interessante Sache that I brought from those high school boys to the Rebbe once. And the Rebbe knew about it. And right after this, I got a phone call from Rabbi Hodakov that the Rebbe will wissen die Teitzoes. Some of them became frume chassidische Yidden. One of them, I think, is also, ich weiß nicht, but frume Yidden, mamish, iberiker zeire mishpoches. Yeah, one of them is a shliach. And I guess a shliach. In Eretz Yisroel, dachte ich.
All from that.
Huh?
All from that.
Yeah. Well, they came...
These are the Teitzois.
Teitzois, I had no choice. But from a Yidden.
Ja.
Von einer Doktor in Eretz Yisroel, Dr. Jaffe, was einer von den größten Doktoren. Seine ganze Familie. Medwin. Wie ist der zweite? Cohen. Eine ganze Gruppe Chevre. Goldblatt. Das waren die alte.
Bechlal, you brought people a lot to the
Yeah.
Rebbe,
Oh, yeah.
and to dollars later,
A lot. To the dollars, kimat every other
every other Sunday.
Sunday. You had gewaltige Nissim.
So, what could you tell me some things from the dollars?
The dollars is, sie gewinnen Aid, was sie gekommen zu mir mit seinem Weib, that he came with his wife, and he's already 8 years after the wedding, they have no children. I took him several times, him separate, he went between the men, and his wife went between the ladies, and they asked the Rebbe for kids. As they asked the Rebbe for kids, to each and every one of them asked, Amen, Broche v'atzlocha, Amen, Broche v'atzlocha. And they went through already so many times and they got nicht. So once I decided to talk to them. I said to them, Mommy and Mazal, das sind nicht zwei. You know what? Come to the Rebbe and say, Rebbe, I want to invest something. Tell him that you will observe Taras HaMishpacha. I'm sure then the blessing will have more place where it should, so to speak, fall on. Like, if you want to sow and plant, you have to have a earth, and then you have to fertilize it, and then you have to have rain. But first you have to sow something. Say that you are going to observe Taras HaMishpacha. We're sitting, and basically both of them are from not very Freie Mishpachas. Basically, they know what it is, but they didn't. So they decided after a couple of weeks, their discussion, they decided they will do it. I made sure to ask Binyamin Zilabel that he should let me go with both of them together. And I went through with them together. And I said, sie haben sich untergenommen auf Abhitten Taras HaMishpacha, und sie wollen haben Zare Chai v'Yoma. Broche v'Atzlocha, und sollen haben Zare Chai v'Kayoma. Das ist Rebbe geantwortet. Okay. This was in the beginning of Tovshin und Beis. Then it came in Nun Dalet. It came Gimel Tammuz. My wife called me while I was in Center City. I was driving. She said to me, ich habe gekriegt a call from Mazal. I received a call from Mazal. And she said, apparently nothing happened. It's more than 2 years since the blessing. And why should I butcher myself, he said. All right. So I wouldn't observe Taras HaMishpacha, something. I got so upset. I said, call her back and say that God forbid you should do it. You have a taina? I am ready to go with you. Let's go to the oil. It wasn't to the oil yet. It was Mamish Ersht. So he said, no, we'll go ourselves and say to the Rebbe, better me should give that you want children and you promise that you will do Taras HaMishpacha. She went. A year later, she had a child. Now she has 2 children. One of them got married already.
Beautiful.
The Rebbe is there. Yeah, I myself, like somebody said to me, Lama it happens by somebody else, but not by
Andere, bei uns it doesn't happen.
So I said, by uns it happens also. God knows what could have been without it.
Oh, exactly.
Der erste Tag Shlichus von Tovshin Mem Vov, prior to that the Rebbe started giving dollars. The end of Tovshin Mem Vov.
Ja, und ich darf wissen.
Yeah. But this was the erste Tag Shlichus. Labelgroner sagt, der Rabbi Zalman ist gekommen mit einer Gruppe Menschen von Philadelphia. I don't know why he had to say it. Mit dem Rakuk und sagt, sei sie Masber, was Philadelphia ist.
The Rebbe told you that you should explain them what Philadelphia is.
Und es kann geben Masber sein. Als Philadelphia meint Ahavas Chochme. Und die größte Chochme ist Chochmas Hashem. Aber das ist Teire. Das sein on ihm lernen mehr Teire. Ich stehe wie ein Gelum. I know that Philadelphia means city of brotherly love, like Lubavitch. Dr. Minochamal knew and says the same word over. Sei dem Masbeth, what Philadelphia is. Philadelphia means Avas Chochme, und die größte Chochme ist Chochmas Hashem, darf sein lernen mehr Teire. Nu, aber gesagt die Wörter von Rebbe. I turned around and said, the Rebbe says that Philadelphia means Avas Chochme, the love of wisdom, and the greatest wisdom is Chochmas Hashem, the Teirem, that should learn mehr Teire. Rebbe gave me a shmeichel, and he gave me an extra $1. By the way, whenever I went by, he always gave me an extra $1. Sometimes he used to say for Philadelphia, sometimes for ganz Philadelphia. The last Chovov order is the last $1 that I have from Philadelphia. The last time the Rebbe gave dollars. Ich habe gebracht einen meiner jungen Mann, was ich geworden nach Chosen zum Rebbe. Ich habe gebracht zum Rebbe, ein junger Mann, was ich geworden nach Chosen that night. And he gave him also $1. Der Rebbe hat geguckt, das sehr bleich. Und dann habe ich geguckt auf mir und habe ich immer gesagt, das ist für ganz Philadelphia. Ich habe es das ist mein, das ist der letzte. Das ist der $. Das ist für ganz Philadelphia.
What does it say on the side?
Ah? Mikweek Dusches für ganz Philadelphia. Das ist mich verschrieben.
In the back,
Das ist dieselbe Sache mit dem. Ja, Mikweek Dusches. Oder Tofschen Beis. Und das begleitet mir mein ganzes Leben.
So you say,
Interessant.
so Avas Chachma, you were finishing the story. Did I ever give you another $1?
So I repeated to them and I went away.
Yeah.
That's it. And
That's
gave me
it.
another $1.
That's the end of the story.
Yeah, that's the end of this.
And for you, you
2 months later, again, ich sag mal again, sagte mir doch schon gerät noch einmal, was Philadelphia meint. Ja, was Chochme, nu?
again this happened.
The Rebbe said to me, but schon einmal gerät, was Philadelphia meant.
But you didn't know this.
But there is a little addition to this story.
Mm-hmm.
And at 11 o'clock I get a phone call from Leib Groner. And Rabbi Leib Groner sagt, als der Rebbe hat ihm gesagt, also Abruf mit Rabbi Lipsker, und weil ich hab gesehen, hat nicht verstanden, was ich mein. Und sagen, als Philadelphia, Phia kommt von Philosophia. Phia kommt von Philosophia. Philadelphia, dort Phila, und Phia ist von Philosophia.
In Latin.
In Latin. In other words, und Philosophia, das ist, und die größte Philosophia ist Chochmas Hashem. Wenn ich hab gesagt, die Story zu Susche, hat gesagt, das ist ja eine gute Sache, was mir davon gerufen, Philadelphia. The Sefer, was will machen.
Oh, so that's the name of the Sefer. That's
Ah,
the
was
Wolf
Chachma.
wrote it. Shlichus la'avas ha'chachma. It's your shlichus
To that city.
to the love of Chachma.
Yep. It wasn't so poshut, but Baruch Hashem, I tried my best. I'm sure it could have been better, but it's better than I think. I'm still now, Baruch Hashem, having shiurim. As of today, somebody called me while I was in...
Yeah, I'm an aid that I'm sitting here and you got a phone call from a Makurev. So let me ask you, to finish off our conversation, what's...
We're finishing off conversation.
I don't know if you have,
Okay.
you have what to add?
No, what do you want to...
I want to ask you, the tales meises from Kutaisi, from Germany, from Eretz Yisroel, come from the Rebbe, from the Yuds, shlichus. What's the message for alle Chassidim today?
The alle Chassidim is één Sach, was allemal, jeder junger Mann, jeder Lubavitcher Chassid, must have within its attaché Tfilin und mesirus und gehen, und wo geht, wo steht, als wie ein Doktor hat sein, wie ruft man das,
Scope.
also was mir hört, dem gesund von der Zweiten, darf haben in sich dem, Tomer trefft mal Yidden, die erste Sache soll sehen und machen gesund in Kopf und in Hand und in Herz durchlegend fühlen. Und ich, mit Eretz Yisroel, soll haben eine Schmiere in den Stub, der Minion von der Mesirus. Und dann wird das dann, wird das heißen, etwas zu heilen, it will hasten the coming of Mashiach. Was in Gash mit. And jeder, as the Rebbe says, that ein Afechod she yochel lehishtamet mize. You cannot just say that doesn't mean that it belongs to me. You have to do it too.
Das meint man dir, das meint man dir.
Yeah. That was under something else. I give up. I get still says in my eyes. So der Rebbe schon helfen, also wir sollen nicht davon erzählen, einmal, was der Rebbe hat getan, wir sollen sehen, bei einer Gashmi.
Amen.
Much better.
Exactly.
Sehr viele Sachen, was gedenkt und erzählt. Und, ja.
Hashakeach Rabbi Lipsker.
Gut. Der Rebbe schon helfen, als jeder Rotzen im Refi.
All right.
Und ich hoffe, dass sie wird helfen. Und öfter will ich allein nicht Ehrer werden.
100%. Okay.
Ich will nur sagen, also ich bin noch jetzt echt der Shliach in Philadelphia und ich habe noch Ad Yom Shiurim, was ich gebe auf dem Telefon 2-mal a Woche.
Okay. Shlichus.
Und der Rebbe hat mal gesagt, dass ein Shliach ist allemal ein Shliach.
Exactly. Okay, Tzlacha Rabbe.
Amen.
Sei gesund.